ultimately in politics, each political party stands on where they are sitting. The Congress at that point of time had called the same candidate that you see where Sudarshan Reddy is concerned, that someone who was compromised and practically sitting in the lap of the Chief Minister of Goa at that point of time was Mr. Manohar Parrikar. So interesting. There are two sides to that as well. But I want to quickly right now cut across to the latest visuals that are coming in. Of course, this was the Prime Minister who voted at 10 a.m. in the morning, the first one to vote. After that, he has left for Punjab and Himachal. He's touring the states which are flood hit. Those are the live visuals that are coming in. Ashwini Vaishnav there. Coming in to cast his vote. A short while ago, you had seen the Samajwadi Party, TMC MPs as well. A steady line of voting continuing. Lots of camaraderie, bonhomie, even between opposition leaders. Parliamentary Affairs leader Kiran Rijiju is the one who's receiving everyone banter, conversation there. Lots of visuals coming in. Jairam Ramesh as well, Hardeep Puri, Gaurav Gogoi. Lots of visuals coming in of MPs casting their vote. Electoral College viewers comprises of both Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha MPs. Right now, Lok Sabha MPs stand at 542, which is -1, considering the West Bengal Bashirhat seat has fallen vacant after the MP passed away. Rajya Sabha stands at 239, -6, which is because 4 Jammu and Kashmir the seats are vacant, 1 from Punjab and 1 from Jharkhand after the passing away of Mr. Shibu Soren. But I want to bring in Javed Ansari into this conversation. Javed, you know, it's always nice to see these disarming shots of politicians where they're not taking pot shots at each other, but actually camaraderie, bonhomie, laughs, which are being shared with each other when they're going into vote.
You know, this used to be a common feature till not very long ago. I have seen BJP and Congress leaders, BJP and leaders from the left parties would be at each other's throat on the floor of Parliament, and then they'd sit in Central Hall and break bread together. They'd have a cup of tea or coffee together. I've seen leaders from the opposition and the ruling party go hammer and tongs at each other in the National Integration Council meetings, and when they'd break for a recess, they'd be sitting on the same table, sometime eating out of the same plate. So that's not unusual. This is not a no holds barred thing. This is just an election, and that's how things ought to be. Mr. Agarwal, I hope, is watching your screen at the moment, because it shows Rahul Gandhi trooping into vote. He's already cast his vote half an hour ago, but so Mr. Agarwal needs to update his information. The other, you made a very valid point that the opposition MP, the opposition vice presidential candidate, if there was so much wrong with his judgment, then why was he considered worthy enough to be made to be considered for that post in Goa? We know where Mr. Reddy stands on various issues. Can Mr. Agarwal educate any one of us on where the NDA vice president stands on issues? Because I don't know, by accent or by design,
right,
he has not opened his mouth from the time that he's been nominated.
Javed, stay with me. On a lighter note, right now, I'll bring in R.K. Upadhyay as well, and anyone can come in. Those visuals of Shashi Tharoor, let's go into the live visual shot. Because that's, while a lot of people are watching Rajiv Pratap Rudy closely, let's get in the live visuals there. And that is Shashi Tharoor, who's first in line, looking to cast his vote. R.K. Upadhyay, lots of questions there as well. It is a secret ballot. Lots of eyebrows will be raised as Shashi Tharoor ji walks in to cast his vote.
It's a very, very interesting visual. Of course, Shashi Tharoor, being Shashi Tharoor, will vote according to his conscience. I'm sure he'll put the conscience vote which the India Alliance is expecting. So, but he will not reveal which way his conscience has worked, and that's how it's going to be. I think that's a very interesting angle to this whole election. One important point I want to make is, see, there have been 14 vice presidents so far. Not a single woman has been elected as vice president. So last time we saw Margaret Alva being fielded, of course, she had no chance. And there has not been a single one who has been put up seriously to become the vice president of India. So even with the president's post, we have had only 2. Pratibha Patil was there in 2004, 2007, and then now Mrs. Murmu. So apart from that, all the political parties are now talking about women's reservation and increasing the reservation from what 33%, making it 33%, 50% or whatever. But when it comes to this top post, there's still a lot of reluctance. I mean, that is what one notices. And even among those 14, only six, I mean, the president's vice president's candidate, only six went on to become president. The rest of them didn't make it to the president's post. The first three, Dr. Radhakrishnan, Dr. Zakir Hussain, and then B.V. Giri went on to become presidents. And then Mrs. Gandhi's era came. I mean, that is when, when B.V. Giri, who was the vice president in 1967, went on to become the president in 69 when Dr. Zakir Hussain died in office. And then, the politics took over. That presidential election was one of the most bitterly fought because she was having problems with the syndicate at that time, and then she had put up PV Giri as an independent candidate against the official candidate, Mr. Neelam Sanjeeva Reddy. And BB Giri won by a margin of just 20,000 votes when both the candidates got around 4 lakh votes each. So that was one of the instances where Mrs. Gandhi cut the whole scene. And then it came to I think R. Venkatraman when he became vice president, then moved on to being president, and then Shankar Dayal Sharma, and then you had K.R. Narayanan. Narayanan's term ended in 2002. And after that, there have been four, I think, vice presidents who've never made it to the president's post. This is an interesting scenario where, things are changing from what it was. The stability of the early days of three vice presidents going on to become presidents, and then a big break, and then three more getting, and then after that, for the last 20 years, there has been no elevation for the vice president to president's post.
Mr. Upadhyay, that's a very interesting conversation and information, and relevant as well when we are looking at it. And for a moment, it wants you to also, and let's try and do that because we have some senior journalists there and how they've looked at, the election of the vice president, the second highest constitution post in India. And let's try and do that. So, Mansi Raman, would you come and weigh in? Lots of anecdotes there, very relevant points that Mr. Upadhyay actually made, which also hopefully makes us move a little away from the current dynamics of what we're witnessing right now.
Yeah, I think one of the things which characterized vice presidential candidates of the past, and it continues to this day, is that they were allowed to have a little more of heft and intellectual leeway than a presidential candidate in recent times. So a presidential candidate, has to be selected very carefully because they should not have too many independent views. They should not, be thought to be capable of exercising any level of independence. Whereas with the vice president, the scrutiny is not as strict as it would be for a president. So that could possibly explain why, for instance, a Venkaiah Naidu, for instance, could not be elevated to the post of president. But I think the important thing also that we need to look at is, again, and we are missing the wood for the trees, is why are we having this election? I know that we are not we're going back again and again on that topic, but that answer has simply not come. I mean, we are being told again this is health, and now we're being told that Mr. Dhankar would be moving to a new residence which will be allotted to him on Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Road. We are hearing all kinds of things, but we haven't seen the man himself, and that is, whatever you say, Preeti, that is a little strange. The fact that a person who resigned so recently has not actually appeared in public and has not spoken at all after the exit on health grounds. Clearly, I mean, from
Right.
whatever we know, we don't believe that he is that ill that he cannot speak. Now, the point also is, coming to today's election, Mr. Radhakrishnan again has not spoken. And I think Javed or someone on the panel mentioned that by nature, and having known Mr. Radhakrishnan, he tends to be a man of limited words. He does not shoot his mouth off. So even in Parliament, I don't expect in Rajya Sabha you're going to see Mr. Radhakrishnan shooting his mouth off or
Right.
castigating the opposition even. And you saw his track record as governor of Maharashtra, almost no controversies. Governor of Jharkhand,
Even as governor
dealing
of
with an opposition
Telangana.
state.
Actually,
Even as governor of Telangana and Jharkhand. Jharkhand
the
dealing
chief
with an
minister of
opposition.
Telangana, Revant Reddy, had
Yeah.
some very nice things to say about him. And he actually caused me absolutely no trouble. He was a great governor.
Yeah, and I think that you may see some of that consensus building capability that he has got come to the Rajya Sabha, which will be good.
Right.
Because with Mr. Dankar, there was a lot of confrontation, except in the last session, which turned out to be explosive. Before that, you've seen a fair. You remember, Preeti, that the Congress and the opposition held a mock parliament session outside where they actually mimicked Mr. Dankar and so on. And
True,
that
true,
became
true.
another big issue some time back. So this confrontation, I don't think you will have with Mr. Radhakrishnan.
Right.
You're going to see hopefully a quieter Rajya Sabha
Right.
than before.